What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with another THFC Rants React video. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We are today reacting with kind of like my own particular thing. So the other day when the Harry Kane, I guess it was Thursday, when the Harry Kane news first broke about him wanting to turn down the Bayern Munich move, I made a tweet, a very controversial tweet, to be honest. And that tweet says, let's take a look at the tweet. So the tweet says, if Harry Kane stays at the club, right? Let's get this clear now. If Harry Kane stays and doesn't sign a new contract or an extension, okay, so the conditions for him being worse than Sol Campbell or a Judas, which I said in a tweet when it came out, that when there was the news of the rumor from BILD that Harry Kane, the hiccup in him making the decision is that there was a third party club, another club that had come in and offered him a better deal to go in the summer, which is attached to this tweet, by the way, down below if you go on my Twitter page at WillStewart365, as you can see on the screen. But it says, if Harry Kane stays and doesn't sign a new contract or an extension, he is worse than Sol Campbell. Hashtag Harry Kane, right? And this is based off, it's looking increasingly likely Harry Kane will stay at Tottenham despite agreeing a £100 million fee with Bayern Munich for the transfer of the player, according to Sky Sports News. Well, that ended up, not being the case. He ended up going to Bayern, obviously, as we know now. Here as the time that I'm filming this video, he had already landed in Bayern Munich. But my tweet, which, let's see, as the time of this particular video that I'm filming right now, pull up the Twitter here and we'll see how many, the amount of heat and hate and garbage that I've gotten for all of these particular deals is pretty insane. Go look at the tweet yourself if you haven't seen it already, but it is absolutely crazy. But the tweet right now is for, let's see here, let's pull it up. Currently it's sitting at 85,000 views, 68 retweets, 160 comments, and 31 hearts. So I'd be willing to get that out of the 160 comments, probably 90% of those are completely talking shit about me and just completely trashing me. The 68 retweets, I think all of the 68 retweets were also to just ragging and tagging on me. And the comments are just full of people who completely misunderstood, didn't take the time. I literally spent all day. Well, if it was just straight up insults like, bell end, I just replied with knob or something along those lines. But for the most part, a lot of people who actually took the time to actually write out a sentence and respond, it was more that they completely missed the context of what I was trying to say, right? So let's put that tweet up one more time just so you guys can see what I said again. Let's clarify it. If Harry Kane stays, not if he goes, but if he stays. If Harry Kane stays and doesn't sign a new contract or an extension, he is worse than Sol Campbell. So let me explain my logic for why I'm saying that. And it caused a lot of heat. There was multiple YouTube shows across multiple channels that either directly or indirectly referenced my tweet. Like I said, it happened to go slightly viral. If you hadn't seen it, that's what was said. But a lot of shows commented on it. And, big up to Haz over there at Southview Spurs. And he actually had me on the show. I was in the comments when he was doing a show, and he was talking about it. And I brought it. He brought me on the show and actually listened to hear me out. He didn't agree necessarily with my opinion on why I think that it's worse than Saul Campbell, but he heard me out. It was calm. We had a good conversation, and I appreciate him having me on the show for do that. And then I heard a lot of people saying the exact same thing I was saying, but maybe just in different words, maybe in not such controversial terms as using the word Saul Campbell and Judas. But the reasons why, in my opinion, if Harry Kane had turned down the deal and ended up staying at Spurs for that last year, especially for the reason of another club offered him a bigger deal and to go on a free in the summer, for me, why that would have made him worse than Saul Campbell is not because he went to Arsenal. It's not because he did exactly what Saul Campbell did or didn't do exactly what Saul Campbell did. That wasn't the point. I'm saying that the end result of Harry Kane burning his contract down, going all the way to the end, and not allowing the club to have funds to fill the gaping hole that he would leave in the side would hurt Spurs, the club, worse than what Saul Campbell did by saying he would stay and leaving in the summer on a free. Right? That summer. Saying he would stay in the summer and then ended up leaving on a free in the summer. That's what I meant. It would be worse. It would have a bigger impact on the club than what Saul Campbell did that summer. And that's why, in my opinion, it was worse than what Saul Campbell did. He would be selling out his teammates, be selling out the fans, and be selling out the club, knowing there's a £100 million deal on the table to reject that, burn his contract out, and leave on a free so that we couldn't afford to replace the loss. That was my opinion. But that ended up not happening, right? That ended up not happening. So now we're going to bring up the video of some of the responses that I made when the news finally broke that Harry Kane was actually going to go to Bayern and not stay at Spurs. Let's listen to my response to that news live last night on Mari's emergency stream here on Tottenham Away. You can also go over to Haz's channel and watch my responses and comments there as well. I think I will put the link of that video in the description down below so you can go watch me. I'm not going to react to that particular one, but you can go over to Haz's channel and watch my responses there.
But they can't even
and by the way, Harry Kane is a terrific. See, and I use the word terrific there because as kind of like a joke and a play, as on traitor. Like, am I going to say? Is Harry Kane a traitor again? Or no? I switched it up to terrific. So here I'm expressing my views on him actually going to Bayern Munich. What my opinions were on going to Bayern Munich, not on staying at Tottenham Hotspur. Human being now. Right? Once he puts his name, I'm not even kidding. Once he puts his name on that dotted line, he is the greatest academy prospect this club has ever produced. No one can compare. Not Hoddle, not anyone. Harry Kane should be the only man to have a trophy outside Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for eternity, because he is the only one, the only world-class prospect that's ever come out of the academy that's had to deal with Daniel Levy and sacrificed his own personal well-being. And what I mean by that, by sacrifice his own personal well-being, obviously there could have been a more personal financial gain, and he could have had a broader selection of clubs to choose from, rivals in the Premier League, right? He wouldn't have had to leave. He could have immediately taken up and continue chopping away at that goal scoring record, the Premier League top scoring record, if he had decided not to go to Bayern this window, burn his contract out, and leave in the summer on a free. So that's what I mean by Harry Kane, by going to Bayern Munich, and all the fans that are upset about it or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich did us a favor, a huge favor, right? He looked out for the club by actually choosing to honor his word that he committed to Bayern Munich and going to them this summer. Not only did we get the cash, we don't have to play against him, and he's not going to a rival who's immediately going to end up kicking us out of the top 4 if we have the possibility of getting there. So that's why I said he deserves, I said a trophy, I meant statue, obviously. But I'm sure some silly person will use that against me because people like to help the club out even on his last day. And for that, Harry Kane, I salute you.
Question, Will, because I wasn't watching the channels. How many of them got your argument totally wrong? I assume all of them. All of them misunderstood it, right?
Yeah, because they all did, right? Like all of the channels that like to comment it, all were acting as though, and I have one example that I'll bring up out of the froth of people who mentioned it. They all got it wrong. They all got the point. None of them took the time to actually read what I wrote and actually respond to the actual argument that I presented according to the context in which I was saying it. None of them, but that's okay. Besides Has, because he actually had me on so that I could explain it myself.
And that's why we had people coming in and saying, is Will still saying that he's a traitor? I'm like, if you're even asking that question, it shows you have no idea what I said.
Yeah.
So I assume,
and then on Twitter too, that's what I've spent all day doing, is literally just telling people, read my fucking tweet. What if he signs a new contract? Read my tweet. Because that's what they would do. They would completely straw man. Well, what if he goes to Bayern? What if he signs a new contract? Blah, blah, blah. Then he's not a Judas. That's what ifs mean. It's a hypothetical. If this, then that. Right? It is an if-then statement. It is a premise. If one of the pieces in the premise doesn't match the conclusion, then the conclusion doesn't apply. It's very simple. Very simple things for people to understand. But I guess it's not simple because not nobody, because there are people like Scott, like Lee, like C to the fourth, like other people in chats and comments that defended me on a lot of these shows to actually put my views forward and what I actually meant. And none of the YouTubers, besides Haas, took the time to actually respond in kind, take a look at what I actually said, and give me credit for my actual argument rather than straw manning or completely just misrepresenting what I said. You're so dumb. You're so ignorant. He could sign a contract tomorrow. You have no idea. Read my tweet, then call me an idiot. So this segment in the video, I'm actually going to big up the people who on that day I thought were A1 in their opinion of the current Harry Kane situation, and to some of the people that responded to my response to the Harry Kane situation. And I'm about to give him a positive shout out right before I had seen, all of the hate and vitriol that came my way that particular day. Let me big up some people today. So big up to Sava. I've listened to Sava. Yeah, all of Sava's opinions that he was making on all the different shows. I watched the stream that he did with We Are Tottenham TV. He was catching a lot of heat there, but I think he was 100% spot on. I think he's 100% right in his particular view and outlook on Harry Kane, and we all know that he's a huge Harry Kane fan. And you got to call a spade, and when a guy gets it right, you got to give him props. A couple times, and I agree with Sava 100%. Believe it or not. So, but on this particular case, I think Sava's spot on this one. Big up to Haas.
You can
big up to, yeah, I'm
right.
okay. Yeah, okay. I'm in a good mood actually.
Just asking.
Haas. Big up to Haas for actually having me on his show and actually hearing what I had to say out. He questioned it.
Big up Sava. Big up Haas, man.
He put in his points that he wanted to say, but he had me on his show. He heard me out. And I think that him and Has, by the way, which I also have had a lot of run-ins with, Yeah, Haz and I have had a lot of run-ins on the Sun thing, especially last season. Last season, I wasn't particularly fond of him, but you know what? Yesterday, he was respectful. He wasn't, snarky or arrogant or any of that stuff. So, hey, man, I'm always willing to bury the hatchet with people. I don't hold grudges. So, Haz, we've had our beefs, and I've said some nasty things, and yeah, man, bury the hatchet. We're cool, and particularly don't like. But big up to Haz as well. He was considerate and listened and heard me out, and I respect people that do that. So yeah, big them up tonight. See, I don't always call people out. I'm not. Well, I call people out when I need to call people out, right? Like when they've said things or done things or argued things that I think are absolutely fallacious. I'm gonna call it out. I always will. I always have. That's just who I am, right? Take it or leave it. Love it or hate it. I have a compulsive necessity to call out misinformation and inaccuracy. I just can't not do it. It's who I am. Ask my mom. Always a dick.
We don't know what to say now.
And I'm not just doing this.
No one knows what's saying that you've been nice.
I'm dead serious too. I'm not just saying this to like prove a point or make emotion. I'm 100% dead honest. I don't ever do anything for clout. Yeah, I've been accused lately of being a clout chaser. People got upset about that I do reaction videos and I'm trying to latch on to this, that, or the other thing. But I don't do these for clout. I don't do them from clicks, likes, or views. I do them. I mean, clicks, likes, and views are appreciated if you get it. Give a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the channel if you like this type of reaction video style of thing. I enjoy doing them. First of all, it take a lot of work, it take a lot of time, but I enjoy doing it. But yeah, I don't do it to chase clout. I do it to correct misinformation. The community, I owe as a Spurs YouTuber, I owe the community to correct misinformation. Like you got the guys from Last Word on Spurs, like he put out that video the other day when the Harry Kane thing came out, saying that you're going to get £100 million if you qualify for the Champions League. You won't. That's bullshit. I already did that. Go watch the TIFO reaction that I did. We're creating a new playlist on the channel called THFC Reacts. And then you can go on that playlist and you can see all the reaction videos that I've done to date. Check those out. But yeah, I addressed that in the reaction video that I did for TIFO on the Harry Kane thing, why Spurs need to sell Harry Kane now. So go check that one out. Show, fake, whatever. I do it because I believe it.
Do you know what, Will? I get messages from people once in a while and they say to me, why the fuck are you on the same channel as Will? How can you handle that guy? He's ruining the channel. And my reply is always the same. Come on the show and debate him. What other channel allows views and opinions of someone that is prepared to back it up? Speak. Show me.
Yeah, like a lot of people keep bugging Stell why, I've been a part of Tottenham Way for almost a year now, right? We had agreed to merge in August of last year. So I've been an official member of Tottenham Away, and that launched at the World Cup, so in November of last year. And we're an even split team, right? Nobody's the boss. Stell's not the boss. I'm not the boss. Iggy's not the boss. JP's not the boss. Mari's not the boss. We are a democratic team. Even vote straight across the board, right? Ask any of them. That's the way that this is set up. So I don't know why, but people feel like they have, if they have a problem with me, they go to Stell. If you got a problem with me, just come to me or do a reaction video like this, because what I'm doing now is I'm not doing these as personal attacks, right? People keep blaming me or asserting that my intention is to do these as personal attacks. They're not. Disclaimer, these are simply just correcting misinformation and also, getting the correct information out there so you, our viewers, are informed of the truth. That's it.
Because Will, whether you hate him, love him, whatever, he will back it up. It's not like when people wake up. So
Stell's not my daddy. You can't call Stell to get him to keep me from making reaction videos. That's not how it works.
Solomon's a good player because he beat a man.
Call me.
Right? No. Will actually think about it. He'll probably think about it, analyzing, like, okay, I'm going to come to a conclusion. And I think because most fans aren't like that, Will, they find you as a bit of a threat. when you say something. They see as a bit of a threat, I think.
I mean, some people are intimidated by me because I'm not. First of all, I'm not scared. I'm not scared to correct people. I'm not scared to point out inaccuracies. I'm confident in myself, in the type of research that I do, and you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like it or love it, that's who I am. People are intimidated by big dicks. I'm just saying.
See, yeah, but then when you say that,
see what I did there was it was a play on words, right? So, you know, people call me a dick, big dick. People are intimidated by big dicks. Either way, right?
You fuck it all up. Like,
it's a joke. Come on, it's a joke. Jeez Louise.
That's like Donald Trump, innit? That's like Donald Trump. He'll say something really good. Yeah, Trump, and then he'll say.
Donald Trump does stick his foot in his mouth a lot, though.
I get called a dick.
Why would you say that? Why would you say
big
that?
Big dick. It's a play on words. Come on, don't hate on my bars. All right. The double meaning there. You know.
So you know, if you see me.
Okay, so this is where this is an example, and this is the prime example because while they didn't mention my name, they pretty much just were talking straight about me, and I'm blurring Sab out here as a visual representation of the fact that Sava didn't mock me or didn't say anything bad, right? Okay, so that's why Sava's face is blurred out. It's not an attempt to trigger anyone or do anything like that. It's simply I'm focusing on Henry's response to my tweet, and so and in that instance, because Henry's the one reading it. Like Sav had said, he had seen it earlier in the day. He may have, you know, maybe not even really paid that much of attention to it. Just kind of, you know, brush past it, do whatever. I don't know. He didn't really give his particular thoughts on my tweet, but he's blurred out as a visual representation that my reaction is to Henry's comments and his misrepresentation of what I actually said. So let's take a look.
A few people.
Certain people on YouTube.
Certain people on YouTube being me. Right, Will Stewart. Just say my name, man. Don't be scared.
Harry Kane Judas.
I've seen it. I'm not commenting on other YouTubers.
Mate, if Harry Kane joins Bayern Munich, how is he Judas?
See what he exactly said? If Harry Kane joins Bayern Munich, how is he Judas? Let's look at my tweet again. I said, if Harry Kane stays and doesn't sign a new contract or an extension, he is worse than Sol Campbell. And then the previous tweet after that, when that information came out, I said, see, I effing told you, Judas. Right? That was the Judas connection. Right?
Where is the logic in that?
There is no logic in that because that's not what I said. Right? What I said is if he stays at Tottenham Hotspur and doesn't go to Bayern Munich because of his own personal gain, then he doesn't care about the club. Harry Kane doesn't owe us anything. He doesn't. I don't care about Harry Kane. I am not a Harry Kane stan. I am a Tottenham Hotspur fan. I don't care what's best for Harry Kane. Right? Harry Kane wants to go. Fine. Good. Go. Boom. Great. See you later. I don't care what's best for him. I care what's best for Tottenham. And the best thing that's for Tottenham, besides him signing a new contract, is him leaving this summer so we can get £100 million. Fact. Boom. I don't care. No other logic works. Period. Done. Over.
It's absolutely insane. Harry Kane joined.
It's insane that you didn't actually read my tweet. If you're going to mention the tweet, why not just read the tweet on air? Just read the tweet on air. I got no problem with it. You read other people's tweets word for word on air. Read my tweet word for word on air. Not making an accusation, but it's seeming like you're misrepresented on purpose. I don't know. Maybe you're not.
A team over 1,000 miles away, and he's Judas. I'm sorry, but that.
And he wasn't Judas for joining Bayern. It could have been Dortmund. It could have been Real Madrid. It could have been Barcelona. He was a Judas for rejecting, for going back on his word after he had already said, got the two clubs together to do all this drama over the last month, and then finally, and gave his own deadline. And once the clubs came to an agreement before that deadline, by the way, he decides, I don't want to go. I'm going to go on a free. That's the Judas part. That is the being worse than Sol Campbell. That was my point. Not just simply joining Bayern Munich. Come on, man. Read the tweet.
Is absolutely baffling. If he joined Arsenal, I think.
Scott, like I said, Scott, the argument isn't about what club he did, whether he did the same things as Sol Campbell or not, is not the point what I was trying to make. I said it was worse than what Sol Campbell did. Didn't say he did what Sol Campbell did. What he has done, or if he does this, what he would have done was worse than what Sol Campbell had done.
You could say he's Judas. If you join Chelsea, you could also say it. But to join Bayern Munich, like, it's absolutely insane.
What's insane is that you didn't actually just read the tweet. Just read the tweet, man. So all you gotta do is just read the tweet. Right? Like, everybody in the chat, and I'm gonna show you some clips of the chat too, of the live chat. Everybody in the chat knew who he was talking about. Will Stewart, Will Stewart, Will Stewart, Will Stewart, Will Stewart, you know.
Let me know down below. If Kane joins Bayern Munich, is he Judas? Yes or no?
No. I'll answer the question. If I'm in Henry Wright's chat, I would have said, is Harry Kane Judas for joining Bayern Munich? I would have typed no. I agree with you, Henry.
I just don't understand how.
I don't either, Sava. You got me. I agree. Like I said, I've agreed with everything Sava said about this Harry Kane saga all day yesterday. I agree with Sava 100%. I don't get it either.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now and just thinking, like, I don't know how anyone can.
Well, I didn't. I don't know how anyone could call Harry Kane a Judas for going to Bayern Munich either, because I think it's the biggest help to the club that he could have possibly have done. So I agree with you, Henry. I don't get it.
Someone said Eric Dyer.
Mate, the fact that Eric Dyer and Ben Davis are going to last longer than Harry Kane at this.
I mean, that is pretty gross. But hey, it's Tottenham for you.
Yeah. I love our fan base so much. Our fan base keeps me energized.
Well, and I love our fan base too. But and obviously, Sav's being sarcastic here, and so am I. I love them because they're just completely reactionary and emotional. I mean, you got David from the Irish Hotspur just yesterday, just like somebody killed his, puppy, right? Like, there's no hope left. I thought we were. People always accuse me, if Son did it, you would be blah, blah. No, I wouldn't. Maybe I'm somewhat psychotic. I don't know. I lack empathy in certain situations. I am not emotionally attached to players. I'm emotionally attached to the truth. My whole point in arguing the Son stuff is because people are wrong. It's not because it's Son. People can't separate the two. I don't think that way. I don't argue things based on emotion. I argue things based on accuracy, and always accuracy, and only accuracy. That's it. That's it. Right? So now let's take a look. Let's take a look at the comments. And this is the thing that bothers me most about that, right? Like, if you're going to straw man misrepresent my argument, at least, or maybe you did it unintentionally, right? You did it unintentionally. But here I'm going to show you, and if you go over to Henry's channel and you watch the whole stream, you'll see that they were referencing comments. They were bringing up super chats. They were bringing up this. So they were obviously looking at the comments. It's obvious. They had brought up other comments at the time, during the time. And there were multiple people in the comments who were trying to create or correct a lot of these, the inaccuracies of what they said I had said. So the first time that my name appeared in the chat is Mud FC, and he says Will Stewart, right? And so then now people start to talk about, different things. And then you got people in the comments, obviously, insulting me. You've got, Lee here, Will isn't the ticket. But then you got GKD, right? And he specifically says, no, Will said he was a Judas if he rejects Bayern and leaves Spurs on a free to a Premier League rival. The next instance here, you got C to the fourth at Henry Wright. So he's adding Henry now so that it pops up. It, has the little yellow highlight. He was called a Judas for going back on his agreement with Bayern. You got Lee down here, Enigma. He's on the Monday Night Podcast with us. Great dude. And C to the fourth in the same sentence here. At Henry Wright, it wasn't for joining Bayern, so clearly not. And then you got Lee here. No, get it right. If you're talking about a certain American, he said Judas for not joining Bayern. And then you got Zalqui76. He's a skank if he leaves on a free, which I agree with. Harry Kane would have been a skank if he had left on a free. Next instance here, you got Spurs King. I see you, Spurs King. I see you, Spurs King. Leader of the Sun Cult was calling him a traitor. Am I the leader of the Sun Cult? I didn't know that. But hey, if I'm the leader, we're going to have a party later and we're going to drink some Kool-Aid. But and then the last effect, and this was the one that I think that the people who were trying to correct the misinformation eventually got tired because they were refusing to acknowledge and or address that they had misrepresented the argument. And we got one here from Lee Enigma 27 down there, and it says, context is everything. Will said he was a Judas for going back on the deal, not for joining Bayern, but you won't read this message, so it doesn't matter. Keep the narrative going. And that's to me why I felt like, are you doing it on purpose? Are you intentionally doing it? Because the tweet's there to read, right? And I want to give Henry the benefit of the doubt here. I want to say that he's probably smart enough to have a decent level of reading comprehension, right? Like he's graduated high school. So if he's reading the tweet off of Twitter as he's going through tweets and reacting to tweets that have happened on the day, why are you intentionally misrepresenting mine? Why? I don't know. But it is what it is, folks. That's the reaction to Harry Kane. Didn't end up happening to anything because Harry Kane went to Bayern Munich. He's a legend. He's a great. Needs to have a statue outside in front of the stadium. If that happens, if he gets a statue outside the stadium, I will go there and kiss its feet and all of that, throw a wreath over its neck and do all of that great stuff. Folks, hope you liked the reaction video. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Comment down below, cuss me out, do all that stuff. Dude, I'm used to it, dude. People think that commenting down, oh, you muppet, you knob, you blah, 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 blah. Doesn't get to me, fellas. Keep it up, though. It actually makes me laugh. I enjoy it. So throw all your hate down in the comments below. We'll see you guys next time. Stay strong. Stay Spurs. We are out of here. Peace.